What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're doing some 2025 WNBA draft content, and the WNBA draft always sneaks up on me. It's in about less than 2 weeks. The gap between end of the college season, the draft, and the WNBA season is so short, but we're going to talk about some prospects, and by far the most interesting player and my favorite player in the draft is French center Dominique Malonga, and I think she's really special, and we're going to break down what makes her special today. So like, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. Really appreciate all the support lately. Malonga is a transformative defensive prospect. 6'6" with an obviously long wingspan. I couldn't find a measurement for a wingspan or standing reach, but just look at her up and down, look at her arms. And she is so athletic and fluid and twitchy. Look at her guarding basically 3-on-1 in transition. She stops the first pass, flips her hips immediately to block this shot on the second pass. Unbelievable defense from disadvantage. And she has freaky defensive playmaking potential. 6'6", long, fluid. She can guard the ball, and smaller players are just going to have trouble shooting over her because she can get her arms out and block shots and block jumpers. And this is a really great example of a one possession where Malonga can just take over and dominate. She begins guarding the rim, guards one shot, guards two shots. And one of the great things that all elite rim protectors have is deterrence, right? Obviously, Malonga here is going to finish the play with a steal. She's got great hands, and you can see her length, but elite rim protectors like Malonga deter players from wanting to shoot. Of course, first play here, we see Malonga here, good instincts, sliding down to meet this driver at the basket and block the shot. Number two here doesn't even want to go up with the shot. And then we're going to get another drive from this player who, again, doesn't even try Malonga, and she ends up creating a turnover. So this is the kind of stuff that isn't showing up in the box score, but makes a huge impact and really separates these elite rim defenders from ones who aren't as elite. And her instincts and mobility, again, the awareness here are so good. This player doesn't even cross the three-point line, and Malonga's already revving up to defend her drive. Malonga doesn't jump, and when this pass is made, she's going to open up her hips in one step, 1-2, block this shot with her weak left hand. The ability to react and recover, her instincts are so special and I don't think I've mentioned this before. Dominique Malonga is 19 years old, playing in the French First Division. So she's playing against professionals as a 19-year-old, having this kind of defensive impact. And again, we see her picking up on the perimeter. She's going to end up picking off this pass, or kind of picking up the ball, goes full court. We're going to talk more about her offense, and nice pass there. We'll talk more about her offense, but she's so good turning defense into offense. Hard to dribble around her because of her excellent length, and she's got great coordination and is already a demon in transition. That's going to only get more dangerous as she grows and she ages. And I'd expect Malonga to eventually become a pretty good post defender. She struggles at the moment. She's very tall and skinny, has a high center of gravity, and you can see shorter players driving Malonga back and creating angles right here. But still, she's so big and long that players have trouble shooting around her. It's just hard to get a good angle when Malonga is lurking, even if you can generate position on her like the post big was able to do there. Or right here, where Malonga isn't able to give up, isn't able to contain the baseline. Right here, she's not the most reactive post defender. She's guarding on the high side. It's a pretty easy spin baseline, and Malonga can't recover from there. And this is not her fault that her teammates get back cut right there. But you can see her size still deterring a shot, and I don't know why I accidentally had this clip twice. Didn't mean to have this clip twice. I'm really intrigued by Malonga's pick and roll coverage at this level, or at the WNBA level, or I should say. She doesn't do a lot of drop coverage, a lot of kind of backwards moving pick and roll stuff. And when she does, she can be kind of slow to react. I just don't think she has a lot of experience in these kind of coverages, like guarding a Spain pick and roll, a little late reacting here just to step up. She's mostly a hedge and trap defender. Shout out Mark Schindler for this, my guy Mark Schindler, for this FIBA clip. And this is a great example of what she usually does in pick and roll coverage. We see Malonga hedging out, right, shading the ball handler away from the paint and They do this because Malonga is so freaky and long and she can force steals, but she also has the speed to recover back and stop the bigs getting back. Like, really good job recovering right here, barely gives up any advantage. So that's probably going to be a coverage that she's very comfortable with, but I do think there's potential given her sheer size and mobility to really evolve as a drop defender. And then, like, on the ball, she's so excellent. This is just it's a beautiful pass by this player, but this is an excellent play by Malonga, right? You can see her giving up position because she's not so strong, but she turns and chases like a 6'2" wing right here, slides over to stop this player, and this is just a ridiculously good pass by this player, and I'm not going to put that necessarily on Malonga as a mistake, but her fluidity and lateral quickness at this size is pristine, and again, we see her length here enabling a steal. And despite Malonga's obvious, kind of weaknesses as a post defender, strength, some drop positioning, she was already such a productive player in the French league. She led the French league in rebounds per game, only won over 10. Leads the French league in blocks per game, and she also ranks very, very highly in this efficiency metric. I don't really know exactly how it's calculated, but still nice to see. But Malonga, I have pretty much no trouble projecting her as a future defensive player of the year type defender. She's going to change the fabric of whatever team drafts her as defensive team. But offense is more interesting with her because I think there's a wider range of outcomes and maybe an even higher ceiling where at 6'6", Malonga is a freakish driver. She's so fast and fluid and has the handle to put the ball on the floor, and very hard for other bigs to contain in a straight line, especially when she can decelerate a little bit and finish with her weak left hand. Great touch with both hands, and her team will run a lot of like inverted pick and rolls with Malonga, where I'll have a guard set a screen for her, give her a runway to the basket, and she's too fast for most players to really contain, and that leads to easy layups and foul draws right there. And any defensive mistake here, Malonga's going to punish, right? They're trying to, they're communicating this switch pretty slowly. Looks like this defender's supposed to slide out and take Malonga, and this defender's supposed to take the screener, but Malonga is too fast for any miscommunication. Like this kind of speed and acceleration to me, so rare for a 6'6" player, especially at the WNBA level. There aren't very many players with her body type who move like this, and she's not even drawing that hard of a closeout right here. We'll talk about her shooting later, right? This defender has a good couple feet of cushion here, but Malonga is still able to burn her to the rim and get a wide open layup because of that incredible speed and acceleration she showcases. This is another one of my favorite plays because of her bend and flexibility. I talk about the importance of flexibility all the time on the channel, but look how low Malonga is able to get. Like, that's an impressive shin angle for a 6'6" player, and her torso is almost parallel to the ground right here. And of course, because of that, her speed throws the ball out in front, gets a wide open layup. I talk about easy advantage generation all the time, and Malonga's able to do that because of her freaky athleticism. There really aren't a lot of offensive players in the WNBA like Malonga, or at least that project to be like Malonga. Like, this kind of, potent, driving 6'3", 6'4" plus is pretty much only reserved for superstars like A'ja Wilson, who's I think 6'4", one of the few players who has this speed to just roast other bigs off of the dribble, create easy paint touches whenever she wants. Obviously, A'ja, not necessarily comparing her to A'ja Wilson, but stylistically, and I of course think Malonga can get much stronger, right? She's not even 20 years old, but able to get a step on Collier, use her strength to draw a foul right there. We see Brianna Stewart drive from the perimeter a lot. Stewie's obviously more of a shooter, I think, than Malonga in just terms of archetype, but we see the same kind of inverted pick and roll action where we have Jonquel Jones setting a ball screen for Stewart to attack baseline. They do a late switch, but Stewart's able to get to her floater against A'ja Wilson right there. And here we see Stewart attacking with an open floor from the top of the key, just like we've seen Malonga do. Rip through, drive right to the basket, uses her speed. Like, the players who can do this stuff that Malonga flashes are the best players in the league. And I want to shout out like De'Erica Hamby, who's an awesome offensive player, but she's 6'3" doing stuff like this, winning off the dribble from the top of the key. Malonga is taller and longer than all of these players we're talking about who have this kind of skill set. And I just wanted to throw in this dunk that Malonga had in transition because, I don't know, it's cool. But Malonga's really, really impressive. She has plenty of room to grow on offense, especially as a post-up player. She's not nearly as seasoned as all the bigs we talked about in the post. She's not very strong, doesn't have a high center of gravity or a strong base, and can definitely lose the ball in traffic when defenders come and help down, and just keeping her base and keeping her balance isn't something she's great at. But then you see shit like this where she just pushes the ball in transition, hits a little Euro step. We've seen quite a bit of work with her left hand, whether that's blocking shots, finishing, dribbling, which is always a good sign to see that kind of ambidexterity. She really has this Euro step down pat. And it's not only the speed with Malonga, right? She can burn past slower bigs, but she'll decelerate, avoid charges, and finish soft with touch as well, even when those plays don't necessarily work out. And she can like dribble into post-ups as well. Her handle isn't perfect, right? But you can see the sheer first step ability. Look at how much space she covers with that first step. Clear window to the rim. She loses the ball there, but corrals it. It's a nice little post hook. I think she has nice touch. I unfortunately don't have any like advanced numbers for her like I do for most prospects, so I don't know any like hook shot numbers or floater numbers or post efficiency. If anybody does and wants to kind of drop that knowledge, feel free to. I'd really appreciate it. I see some good and bad on plays like this, where Malonga, again, is able to burn a sagging defender to the rim, but I'd love to see her take an extra dribble here, carve out some space instead of just throwing the ball up. She's not a super prolific foul drawer either. Like, she'll get some just because of her pure height and size, but definitely could be a lot better right there. And did I accidentally show this clip twice, or is this I think I keep accidentally doubling up these clips. But Malonga here is going to end up getting the ball, scoring in the post, and you can see just her twitch as a post-up player too. Look how fast she turns this post defender's angle, finishes with her right hand, beautiful shooter's touch on a play like that. And Malonga can just feast on offensive rebounds and tip-ins. So many of her buckets in the paint are just, she is too big for all of the players in her league. And though it's going to be harder at the WNBA level, she's still going to be in the upper tier of height and length in the WNBA. Like she's going to be taller and longer and more imposing in the paint than most WNBA players at this stage. But definitely not perfect with the ball, right? I think once she improves her handle, it's going to be, especially in traffic, where she likes to pick up the ball and she can kind of panic and make some poor decisions. But I think that's so common for young players, and especially ones like Malonga who have these special physical tools for sure. But definitely improvement to be made there. I think Malonga is a pretty solid passer, though. She's nothing exceptional. She doesn't have a great assist-to-turnover ratio, but European leagues are much stingier with assists than American ones generally, and a lot of her turnovers, like we showed before, related to strength or handling, but she's not a high-risk interior passer. Like, I'd like for her to just whip this pass in for a layup, but she does a good job kind of surveying the floor. This defender sinks down, opening up a window. Like, she's a very solid processor from the middle of the floor. I don't think she has crazy elite processing speed, but she's more than capable of going through her progressions, pivoting around, and making a good decision. Like, she's definitely not a black hole. And let's get to the shooting, where actually, there's quite a few more passing clips that I wanted to show, but I must not have included. But her shooting, she shot like 31% from three on like 2 threes per 40, and the confidence stepping out and hitting some of these shots is really impressive. They'll run her off of flare screens, and she'll confidently step into these catch-and-shoot threes, which gives me hope that she can develop into a real shooter at the WNBA level because of what she's doing at this young age. And Malonga also a really nice fadeaway post shooter too, so she has some nice soft intermediate touch as well. Her offensive skill set is rare, and I wanted to include some more clips of her interior passing, but she is a very solid interior passer. She has a little Dirk fade that she likes to hit, and I think her touch is going to help her develop as a shooter. Malonga is just a really, really special player, and she has some abilities on both ends of the floor that could make her a genuine WNBA superstar. Now, I think she said that she wants to come over immediately, and that means she's probably going to go second overall to the Storm because Olivia Miles pulled out. I think Malonga is a special, special talent. I love Paige Beckers. It seems like she's been penciled into the top spot for basically years now, but I think Malonga has a higher ceiling than Beckers for what she's doing in a pro league with her tools at a young age. She's 2-3 years younger than most of the players in the draft in college basketball. And of course, that comes with some rawness and need for improvement, but a patient WNBA team will be rewarded if they really lean into Malonga's development. I think she'll be great as a rookie just based on her size and defense and movement skills and some of the driving and finishing stuff, but there's obvious defensive star upside, and I think Malonga is one of these rare players who can win as a driver, who has enough passing skill, who could develop into a shooter, and just an unstoppable creator on the wing that no other bigs can really handle. There's so much potential here, and I'm so excited to watch Malonga grow and develop in the league. So let me know what you think of her. Let me know what you think of the video, and I hope you're having a nice day or night whenever you're watching this.